Okay, box making 101. There are a couple of different methods. Mego uses scissors to cut out a box. I use a straight edge and a ruler. If you're going to use a straight edge and a ruler, you need to have a very good piece of metal. An old cookie tin sheet is a good idea to put under. Now, there's no real order on where you start. This is just how I'm going to start right now on one of the sides. Take the knife and cut. I'll go do the other side. Line up. Press down hard on the ruler and cut. You can take off the pieces if you want. Start to see your box being cut out. I will do the across the top. No need to go all the way. You can if you want. I'll go down, find the edge. This can be a tricky one sometimes. Gotta keep an eye on what you're doing and not go too far. Then you can do the angles up, do the straight across. Again, be careful you don't go too far into the box flap. I'll do this one too. Do this angle down. Whoops. Not something you want to say too often, but that went out into a period place that didn't matter. Now if it still needs a little bit, you can just finesse the edge, the straight edge, and line up and finish that. Remove that. Go down this side. And generally on this little flap I eyeball it. And as you can see, the box is starting to take shape. Flip it over, go to the other side and find your edges and cut. Like I said, there's no specific order that any of this needs to be done in. This is just what I've mostly the pattern I use. It just worked well for me. Go across. And I do use the ruler on this side. Now we need to work on the box flap. And a couple of more cuts. And it should be pretty much cut out. And this bottom piece of the side flap, cut it off, and there you see, your box is pretty much taking shape. Now you want to cut out the window very carefully. You have to keep an eye on where you're going with this so that you don't go too far. For me, I found doing the sides first worked best, but it didn't really matter. And now the top of the window. Pop your window out. And there you have your box cut out. Just the first part of the process. Okay, next up is scoring. And yes, I am doing this on the floor. It's just the easiest place to do the demonstration right now. And I do require a soft surface for my scoring. Now, there are multiple ways of doing this, I'm sure. I know, depending on this is very thin stock. If you've got thicker stock, I know, again, Mego Knight, he uses a screwdriver for scoring. I'm not sure what he uses as a backing to lean on. Now, for me, I've always found it easier to do the top and the bottom scoring first. Get your line. I use this sculpting tool, and you press and make a nice crease. Now at this point, keeping the ruler there, fold up and give yourself a little bit of a rub to make that crease. Then fold over. If it looks like it's going a little too far, the crease is still rather round. You can make an adjustment and then with your thumb press down nice and hard and finalize the crease. Same thing on the other side. Line up the edge and make a nice crease. Go to the other side. Get my line. Press. Crease. And finish the crease. Across. Now I'll do the flap. Now you might notice that I haven't cut the flaps off of the side flaps off of the end flaps. You don't want to do that before you do the creasing, you do that after. Now when I make a big crease like this, I line up with the top and bottom crease that I've already made. Try to make sure that I get a nice, even, level crease across. Whoops. Then again. Make the crease. Start it, fold it over. Make sure I'm lined up, square, finish the crease. Now flip over and do this side. And now your box has its creases and it's starting to actually look like a box. At this point, you can take your ruler, your straight edge, and go back and cut out the flaps. You've got a crease to start at and pull away from, or a crease line. Whoops. Need that so I can see where I'm going. crease line to pull down to. And one more over here. And there you've got the flaps are now loose. The next step will be the window. Okay, now it's time to put the window in. Again, I'm sure there are other methods. This is the way I do it. Double stick tape, and I pull out a piece. Dispenser will work, and I get it just a little bit longer than the side length. Now what I do is I press it down on a nice clean clipboard and I cut it in half. Yes, it's going to beat up the clipboard a bit, but it's a sacrifice we must make for our art. I then peel off, and that didn't cut, which happens, so I'll just have to get another piece and do it again. We get a piece a little bit longer, press it down, and it'll just require a little bit more pressure when I cut. There we go. Now I've got the half piece, and I put it right along the the edge. Take the other piece and get that on the other side. Now go to the ends, pull out a bit, and do the same halving process. Put that in. And put that in. Now, as far as the material to use on the window, you can buy some very nice clear plastic sheets at Hobby Lobby. They come in different thicknesses. I think Mego uses 0.07. I have used in the past the stiff mylar comic bags. You trim off the edge, the outer edge, and you end up with 2 sheets, and you can get about 3, you should get 3 panels to a sheet. This is just some very flimsy, cheap stuff that I'm using for the demonstration, although I have used this a few times, and once it's attached, it's not really that big a deal. You can cut out as exact as you want, or you can go a little bit oversized, as long as it's not too much. Put it over where you've got the tape and press it down nice and flat. And there is your window in the box. Next step is to finish the box, putting it together, and for that I need, where did I put it? My glue stick. It was here, oh, here it is. Now, the way I handle this, need a nice firm surface. I get right up to the edge of my clipboard. I get my glue stick out, and I put a layer on there. Flip it over, bend the flap in, and put glue stick on that. You don't want to use a water-based glue, because that will make your paper wrinkle. Now, fold it over. Fold your flap in to give yourself a guide. and in. Press. If you get a little extra glue, just wipe it off. Press them in, and then press firmly down. And you see the box, the creases are all lined up. Came out nice and flat. Reverse, do it again on this side, and there is your box. Now the last step is the flaps. Now what I do is I bend it over, I line it up, I give it a little pinch on each side. That lets me make a nice crease. And go to the other side. Rolled on me a little. Pinch, pinch. So I've got a place to crease it. Now at this point, you want to make about a 1/4 inch cut in the flap on each side. Goes a little bit more, that's okay. And last but not least, you want to round your flap corners. I use curved, small little curved, I think they call them cuticle scissors. You can get at any drugstore, or even places like Kmart and Walmart in the cosmetic aisle. Curve your edges. Get your flap, make sure all your flaps are good. Press your end flaps in, and there's your box. Completed. Ready. Oops. Yeah, well, sometimes things curl a little, but you can flatten that down. Ready for the insert. That will be a separate instructional video. Just want to smooth that down a little bit. Alright, well, until next time, that is how to put together and make a mego box. Whoop. Have fun.